Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is the Shankly Sessions, the Liverpool podcast. We bring you each and every day out there on the upper tier on YouTube. If you could head over there and subscribe, hit that bell notification button, like, share, all that good stuff. This is your preview. Newcastle versus Liverpool coming to you this Saturday lunchtime from St. James's Park. Eddie Howe versus Jurgen Klopp. Interesting dynamic there in terms of the matchup. As you know, if you've followed the show, you'll know that we are big fans of Eddie Howe. Absolutely stellar manager and coach. Has done an absolute fantastic job on Newcastle. Brought them to the dizzy heights of ninth at the moment. And there's a slim chance for them if they run out for the rest of the season. They could even sneak into seventh. But he's done an absolutely unbelievable job. He took over. They were in the relegation zone in a really, really bad place, especially after the takeover. They could ill afford to go down into the championship, but he's done an absolutely brilliant job, not only in terms of managing, but in terms of coaching. And he's had to deal with injuries himself as well. You'll see when we get down into the team news, he's dealt with a number of key injuries as well. But the job he's done on Joe Linton and the boy that he's brought in, Guimaraes, he's done an unbelievable job on those boys. I mean, Joe Linton now is starting to look like the player that they bought and paid for. He's starting to look like value for money now. And it's going to be really exciting to see how Newcastle develop now over the summer and who else they bring in and who else Eddie Howe has an eye for. He's very, very shrewd in his dealings. Did a fantastic job at Bournemouth as well when he was there. But absolutely brilliant job he's doing there at Newcastle. And it's a tough place to go, the similarities between ourselves and the Geordies as well, a real high octane fan base, they love their club. We love our club. So yeah, there's the similarities there, you know what I mean? They love their football. We love our football. They're very passionate about their city. And these matches between Newcastle and Liverpool, they rarely disappoint. And remember all the fabulous 4-3s down through the years, and Kevin Keegan slumping over the barrier, and the great matchups, and Collymore and all these great goals and stuff like that. So there's great history between the club as well. But let's get into the preview anyway. The Magpies put 3 unanswered goals past Norwich City last time out. While Jurgen, obviously during the week, as you've seen, beat Villarreal 2-0. Scoreline didn't flatter the performance, really. We absolutely battered them. 2-0, of course, is a dangerous scoreline going over to Villarreal next week. But attention now, as this quadruple develops week on week, our attention now is back to the league. We have an opportunity to pick up 3 points against Newcastle, go top of the league at least for a few hours, while Man City head to Leeds for the evening kickoff at 5:30. So who knows what might happen? We could put a little bit of pressure on them. They are carrying a few injuries and stuff like that, so who knows? Stones came off the other night against Real Madrid, so it's a little bit makeshift at the moment. Cancelo will be back, but let's see what happens there. That's going to be interesting. But we have to first and foremost go out and do our job, get the 3 points on the board, keep the title race going, go top of the league by 2 points, and try and add that a little bit more spice and pressure to the situation. But yeah, as I spoke about, the job Eddie Howe has done has been absolutely phenomenal, and this is a tough trip to Newcastle on the back of a Champions League game midweek. So we have to be really, really careful. And these lunchtime kickoffs as well, they tend to spring a surprise. If you followed us on our Beat the Bookie show, we normally tell people avoid the early kickoff in your accumulator or your bets, because more often than not it will let you down. Newcastle at the moment are the second most informed team in the league behind Liverpool. They've had 4 wins on the bounce, only conceding 1 goal. So they're doing a fantastic job at the back as well. Unbelievable. 9th in the table, as I said. And with 4 games to go, a European spot could still happen. Can you imagine if Eddie Howe got Newcastle into a European spot after being in the relegation zone when he took over? Unbelievable. Liverpool, I thought during the week, they were so dominant against Villarreal in their pursuit of this unprecedented quadruple. And they now face the tough task of trying to get 3 points against Newcastle at St. James, which will be tough. The importance of the game really needs no build-up. as we know with Liverpool at the moment, they're all cup finals from now till the end of the season. And any slip up at all, and we'd be just handing the title really to Man City. So we have to go out, be absolutely clinical and professional in our play. Newcastle have been on a really, really good run at the moment. But I would say in the last 4 games, they haven't come up against a team like Liverpool. And I mean, if we go out similar to what we did to Villarreal and we put that press on and that intensity and stuff like that, you would think Newcastle may wilt at the back and they may offer up a few goals. But certainly it'll be interesting. Current form at the moment, Newcastle, 4 wins and 2 losses in their last 6 games. For Liverpool, it's 5 wins and a draw. Yeah, this is Premier League form. In terms of team news, Newcastle at the moment, as we know, they're missing Kieran Trippier, Callum Wilson, Jamal Lewis, and Isaac Hayden, while Ryan Fraser is fighting battle to return. Almiron, Shar, and John Joe Selvey were out of the starting lineup for the win against Norwich, so they could return. So that's the latest team news for Newcastle. Obviously, big players there missing, and obviously big players who could come in. I do like the boy Almiron. He has a little bit about him when he comes in and stuff like that, you know. Bobby Firmino, as we know, is still missing from a foot injury, still taking longer than we originally thought, certainly longer than what Jurgen thought on some of the press conference updates. Curtis Jones is out with an illness, and we know that Costa's wife had a baby, so he was missing for that. Not sure whether Klopp will elect to change much, as this is a tough fixture and a vital 3 points. So it's hard to know just whether he will actually change things up or not. I suppose if you're looking at it, you would expect Matip to come in for Konate. You would expect, I don't know, would he rest Thiago? I'm not too sure. My guess is if Thiago's fit, I think he plays him right out till the end of the season. I don't think he's going to be able to manage him in any sort of way. I mean, he's vital to us in terms of his creativity and stuff like that. But if we look at the Newcastle possible starting lineup, the Bravka, Kraft, Shar, Byrne, Taggart, Shelby, Gumerez, Joe Linton, Almiron, Wood, and Sam Maximin. Very strong attacking side. The boy Sam Maximin at time is unplayable. Really, really good. Chris Wood probably hasn't delivered what they thought he was going to deliver at this stage. But again, always very dangerous, especially from set pieces and corners. Almiron, as I said, he just has that little bit about him and stuff like that. And the two boys, the boy brought in, and also Joe Linton. I mean, absolutely exceptional at the moment. And you know, John Joe Shelby as well, ex-Liverpool player. Who knows? He could crop up with something, you know. Obviously, Byrne at the back has made a huge difference, and I do like the Bravka in that solid goalkeeper. For Liverpool, possible starting lineup: Allison and Nets, Gomez. Interesting call there. Rest Trent, maybe. I'm not too sure, but we'll go with it. Gomez, Matip, Van Dijk, Robertson, Henderson, Fabinho, Keita, Salah, Mane, and Jota. Yeah, interesting. Salah, Mane, and Jota. I think he probably would start Jota. He might release Diaz from the bench. Even Origi could figure into this because he's a little bit awkward and stuff like that. So he might give Bourne something to think about. I do expect Matip to come in, even though Kanata is absolutely unbelievable. But I think Klopp's doing a great job of managing him. Not sure whether Gomez would start or not. He's in there as the possible lineup. I don't know. Maybe he's keeping. Maybe the thinking is maybe see how it goes and maybe release Trent from the bench or something like that. But options all over the park, like. So really, really good. Van Dijk, what can we say about Van Dijk? Plays in nearly every single game. Absolutely unbelievable. High level of performance. Salah maybe could do a bag and a goal or two. Has been a little bit off his play, and his link up play is really, really good. And of course, his assists. But Mo Salah, I think, could be the first guy to turn around and say, well, really, I don't play in relation to assists. So I'm all about the goals. If you're looking for a prediction, this is an interesting one because I think there might be goals for Newcastle in this, and I think this might be this could be a get out of jail one for us. I'm thinking 3-2. We know both teams always put on a really good match, early kick-off. Liverpool on the back of a midweek match. Newcastle buoyed by their moves up the league, potentially eyeballing the European spot. It is a bit of a task for them to get there, but Eddie Howe is very ambitious in his way and in his coaching. So I think Liverpool 3-2. I think it will be comfortable. It might be 3-1 for a while. And then I think maybe Newcastle could nick another one maybe in the last 5 or 10 minutes to make it interesting. But I think ultimately Liverpool will run out winners 3-2. Keep the title race going and keep the quadruple on track. Betting in this, I had a look at it. This one is one that I didn't agree with. I had a look at the betting. Newcastle 6-1, the draw is 7-2, and Liverpool are 2-5 on. I think if you look at current form at the moment, and you look at the job that Eddie Howe has done, I don't think the difference between Newcastle and Liverpool, and this again is considering Newcastle are at home at St James's, tough place to go. I don't think the gap between the two is 6-1 and 2-5. I think Newcastle are playing really, really good football at the moment. They're tough to break down, and they're starting to show a bit going forward now, and they're picking up goals. So yeah, I thought the betting was a bit just a little bit too wide. I think it didn't do Newcastle the justice of what they've been doing over the last couple of months with Eddie Howe. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. It's a case of, can Liverpool get in there, get the 3 points, get out of there unscathed, no injuries, and move on. Big game coming up Tuesday away to Villarreal to complete the semi-final and hopefully get through to the final. They have 1 foot in the final already, but it's not going to be easy going there. 3-0 would have been much better, but 2-0, always a dangerous scoreline if we were to offer up an early goal to Villarreal on Tuesday. So we will be dropping a preview for that as well. Also, check out Saturday afternoon. We'll drop a match reaction and player ratings to the Newcastle game. Fingers crossed we keep the run going. Really, really important, as I said, to put the pressure on Man City. Some of the matchups there, I'm looking, Share at the back and Burn and stuff like that. It's going to be very, very interesting, especially with Salah, Mane, and Jota. Jota, of course, will be a pest. He's another one who's due a performance as well. Jota, I suppose, before we leave you, he's been tiptoeing along and sort of getting involved, but he really hasn't put a stamp on the game now for a number of weeks. So a big performance out of him would be due. And he'll like that kind of aggressive style up against Newcastle as well. He'll make himself like a pest against that Newcastle backline. So it remains to be seen what happens, but hopefully we get the win and we run out. Anyway, this has been your Shankly session. Newcastle versus Liverpool preview coming to you, as I said, this lunchtime on Saturday from St James's. Hopefully we can get the 3 points, keep the quadruple going. If you want to contact the show, let us know your prediction down in the comments. If you want to contact the show, the upper tier podcast at gmail.com. We're on Twitter at Session Shankly. Of course, audio version of the show, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music. You'll also find us on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram, the upper tier. Till next time, Reds, let's keep this going.